And welcome to this retro content from Throwback Thursdays, whether it's from NoDQ.com, the Jeff Meacham Network, Casa D18 Studios itself, a Simple Man's brand, or the J. Hebert Studios, and anything to do with FTW Productions. This will be the content re-aired right here on Throwback Thursdays that you could expect to see on the Casa channel. I know watching back some of our old content, whether it's the open mic night intro where I'm laid on my bed, which I kind of cringe at, especially with this cool ass setup now, or whether it's, just about anything to do with what we have done on FTW Productions, from a Simple Man's brand, from the J. Hebert Studios, to even some Insanity Works and Retro Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated stuff. There's some good stuff, there's some cringe stuff, and either way, I hope you guys enjoy that stuff coming up, and, even if you didn't enjoy it, I'll be along with you for the ride. Some of the stuff does not age well, like Jeff's content does. I know he has done a deep dive on his own content and cringed at his own self, but either way, I hope you enjoy it regardless. I know in some of these clips, I have a fondness to them. So with that being said, enjoy this Throwback Thursday, and until next time, we'll see you on the J. Hebert side.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. All WrestleMania themed retros by Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play Series, WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play Series, all of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels, both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show, AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week, the entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play Series, past and upcoming Jeff Meacham Network watch-along coverage, FTW Productions watch party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw, A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios, Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting, Episode 3 coming soon, breaking news, ATW View impromptu, WYW intro and Immortal stream, Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7, our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
Hello everybody, this is Double A, the normal cameraman for the Renegade of Wrestling channel on YouTube. Shouts out to guys over there. Just letting you know to be on the lookout for my new show, The Double Down with Double A. It's going to be innovative, it's going to be fun. I'm not always going to talk about wrestling, I'm going to talk about sports, current events, or just shit that just really just pisses me off. So be sure to tune in very soon.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from A Simple Man's Brand.
What the?
I consented.
God friggin'! Anyway, what the hell is going on today with all these WWE releases? I get it. Is WWE trying to say that we truly can use anybody and get rid of anybody? Because at this point, we're the biggest thing in the world. Oh, what we're going to do? Let's see. We're going to be bigger than Disney. Fuck it. Can't do that. Let's sell it to Disney. There's so much going on in wrestling. And I'm like, what? But I digress. Hello, everybody. It's impromptu. It's unscripted. It's uncensored. It's wild. It's unruly. And who knows what the hell might be said too. Welcome once again to another ATW View. Open mic night. Number 2. I am, of course, just the simple man here, coming off a workout. My name is Noah Foster. With me tonight, I have a trio, part of the ATW crew. I got the Inquisitor, the Inquirer, sometimes these black dudes. Representing New York Entertainment, I got Eric Brown, and of course, the all-elite king himself, who is not afraid to tell you like it is, versus another company, King A-Train. With that being said, gentlemen, let's just get right into it. I'm just going to kick it off here. I thought it was only an annual thing, 1 day, 2 days a year. Nope, it happened again. WWE once again dropped the bomb as they released more people, some quite surprising. The names included are, in this order I will say it, Buddy Murphy, Santana Garrett, Lana, now get this, Aleister Black, Braun Strowman, and Ruby Riott, who I have had incredible potential ever since NXT. I'm like, what? And Santana Garrett. I probably said Santana Garrett. Apologies if I didn't, because I respect Wonder Woman, both the DC and both her character and wrestling, but I digress. So, gentlemen, talk to me here. What the hell's going through your minds once again? And who is unsafe at this point? Who's next?
Well, I like to start this off. So, oh God, I woke up to this.
Oh, well, that's a strong way to wake up. At least you didn't have a cup of joe in your hand and wait. I was at work and literally I see my phone. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? What? But continue.
Yeah, I saw this and I was like, oh, what the happened now? What did Vince do? But when I looked into it more, I was like, okay, this is starting to not sound like Vince. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black. I'm like, I know Vince has lost his mind, but I don't think he's that insane to just have these guys on TV and just throw them on the wayside right after, like seconds later. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't like Vince as a manager.
Yeah.
So
That's
a lot of people have been speculating over and over the web that this is a Nick Khan move. Khan! Yes.
Had to be said. No relation to Tony.
I'm pretty sure Tony Khan is going to be like, hey, thanks, Khan. Maybe there is room for two Khans in this business. You know, it's only a matter of time until he thinks that.
Oh, no doubt. And then I'm sure someone will take a meme of Gretel Khan literally doing the Dominator to one, if not both, these Khans. But again, we also have that idea.
Okay, do any of you remember that guy on Twitter that always seems to pop up in my mentions, including when I mentioned him, Clint, the guy who seems to know more about legal stuff than me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's a lawyer.
He believes there are one of two things happening here. WWE is either maximizing their profits to gear up for a big sale to another conglomerate. What does that remind me of? It reminds me of that other company that went out of business, but yeah, that and because they didn't see wrestling as valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's a conspiracy on that front. But the other reason is Nick Khan has a different philosophy than Vince. One of the philosophies is the days of hoarding talent is over.
Well, considering how deep the WWE roster is, I kind of can see what he means, but hoarding...
Yeah, but here's the thing that bugs me a little bit. Think about this. Nick Khan's only been on the WWE payroll for a year, whereas people who want Triple H to run things has been around for over 20 years, and it's like, nope, this guy got it. Not
this
you, Hunter.
Guy supports my vision. He knows it's all about the money. Damn it.
Yeah, and then, so, yeah, Aleister Black was a surprise because he had just popped in back on SmackDown after 7 months. And then got fired after disappearing for a week because they were trying to wait. And Aleister Black went on Twitch, on Zelina's Twitch. Oh, you gotta think about that. Zelina, from what I'm hearing, hadn't fully signed yet. So it looked like she was probably on her way back. Well, you could throw that out the window now.
There's no way in hell, if she has some sense, that she will go back to WWE after that. No way in hell.
Yeah. So Tommy End, as he now calls himself on Twitter, revealed that they had this big music score that he helped compose, and it was going to be awesome. He said it's his favorite song he ever heard, which tells you how hyped it was. And now he says it's probably never going to be released.
Well, maybe someone will buy the rights.
There's only one thing to do.
What would that be?
# release the Tommy End cut.
Get it trending on Twitter, folks. You heard it here first. And I probably will do that literally.
And then he revealed, on the Twitch that he was going to fight Big E on SmackDown this week.
See, that's the thing. They already had a story going for him too, which also a surprise because the last thing he did.
And here's the other thing that amazes me about what he was doing. He revealed the Dark Father character he was doing. That was all his idea.
Wow. Not since Bray Wyatt haven't heard someone.
What WWE was about to invest in, which was probably thousands of dollars already wasted, was Aleister Black's idea, much like Bray Wyatt was going to do. So basically, if I had to guess, they were going to build Aleister up, then have him job to Goldberg, then go through a mystical enchantment way of what the effery, then go ahead, rise up to the occasion again, then get beaten down by Roman 1 week after he wins the world title, and then go back to being burned alive by Orton. And I am not paraphrasing on what happened to Bray Wyatt.
Well, hey, Randy Orton's already destroyed one deity. Why not try and destroy another? Again, I was really curious what this whole Aleister Black thing was going and where his contrast with Biggie's open, positive energy.
And then when I heard Braun Strowman was released, I was like, in the championship match, he beat the hell out of Shane. What the hell happened?
He was one of the biggest draws in WWE. He's one of their biggest, babyfaces.
Here's the other thing. Before the pandemic, he apparently signed a 5-year deal, $1 million a year.
Well, so much for that.
Yeah, and people are bringing up how, remember Braun Strowman here we go with
technical difficulties. You were bugging out there a moment.
Okay, did you hear me?
That last two sentences, you were bugging out a little bit.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Hey, Kate. So did you hear me?
Yeah, I agree with Noah. You kind of cut out the last 2 seconds of what you said. Okay. Run that by me.
Do you remember what Braun Strowman said last year?
That about the whole Evil Uno situation about crapping on
the hand trashes the independent scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, now you are one of them.
There's a thing in the world called karma. Be careful what you do or say, because it might end up biting you later. Braun Strowman, welcome to karma.
Yeah, and then Aleister Black revealed why he got fired.
Oh, let me guess. I'm gonna guess here because this is Vince, and you're not gonna say.
I got my air quotations ready.
Budget cuts.
Yes.
No,
As such, you must cue your mandatory CM Punk promo that I like to post every single chance when they use that excuse.
About how he said that when he leaves, it's still going to be the same way.
Yeah, me and Clint talked about this for a little bit, about the whole budget cut excuse. And this is what, let me find what I wrote on Twitter. Okay, let me find it.
And meanwhile, while he does that, folks, remember on the last open mic night, as King alluded to, this company literally just purchased the rights of their content to be used by Peacock for $5 billion.
$1 billion a year.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm. There you go, folks.
But we need to cut the budget down a little bit. Logic.
It was reported last year that they made over $900 million.
That is just an absolutely phenomenal amount of money. No matter how you cut it down on the balance sheet, where it come from, the revenue sources, what's given to the actual people that work there versus their actual costs and benefits.
Okay, so this is what me and Clint agreed on regarding the whole budget cut excuse. If this is in fact Nick Khan trying to get rid of the philosophy, we need to gobble as many people up so they don't work anywhere else and therefore increase our catering budget. I said, why not just say we're consolidating our roster and long-term strategies have been altered that require downsizing? Because when I hear budget cuts, I'm thinking we lost a ton of money, so cuts are being made, which we know WWE doesn't have.
I'm about to say, if you have budget cuts, that means you're over budget, so you have to cut unnecessary expenses in your own business plan. I can't imagine WWE having that. What I can imagine is WWE, they literally are thinking, okay, at this point, I feel like we need to proceed with selling the company because let's go ahead and let the King talk a little bit, because King, you brought up something very interesting in the chat. What was the Raw viewership this week? And then start off with your take on this.
The Raw viewership for this week, fellas, was a total of 1.438, but which in the third hour, it was at 1.168, gentlemen. That's where the third hour of Raw was at. Now, I want to discuss a little bit on that, and then I'll dive into what I was diving on the releases of what we were talking about on this topic. I mean, now people are starting to see why people like myself and many others don't watch Raw anymore, because they give us the same rematches week after week with basically, here, we're going to give you a rematch. You're going to get a rematch. You're going to get a rematch. Everyone gets rematches.
Are you saying Oprah Winfrey as a producer?
Pretty much. But that's a fun topic. That's basically whatever on our own time. But
this is basically their reaction to you get a title and you get a title and you get a title.
Well, that's a whole nother topic in itself. How many titles is enough when it comes to the WWE. Let's see. 5, 6, 9. It's like, what's next? You're gonna have another title?
I think they have like nearly 20 at this point.
When you look across all the brands, you're probably right. And I think
right on that number.
I guarantee you there's at least a couple that are absolutely unnecessary, but I digress. Subtopic. Anyway, King, continue. Your thoughts.
It's like why? Like it's creative bankrupt over there on Raw. It's creatively bankrupt. They ain't got nothing else. They got these Hollywood writers who don't know about professional wrestling. They just write just to write. But now, when I heard about these releases, I was at work. I was just clocking in, and I seen the Twitter notification go off, and I'm talking about like blaring like crazy. And I'm seeing releases, and I'm like, oh God, again? We're doing this again? And then I looked at the names as you discussed, Noah, and other than Alistair and Braun, there's a female superstar that stuck out to me the most.
Do tell.
Can y'all take that is?
Ruby Riott.
There you go. Ruby Riott. I mean, this woman is a workhorse in the WWE to where I felt like she should have had at least a championship run in her belt. And plus, what does this do for Liv Morgan? Like, if we look down to it, okay, someone broke this. I think Sean Ross Sapp broke this down of how many SmackDown female active competitors that they got. 7. They only got 7 SmackDown active women competitors on that brand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow. I didn't know that number until he brought it up.
I didn't remember that few.
At this rate, and there's only 2 tag teams. 2? No. 3. Maybe 2 or 3. I could be wrong. 3 women tag teams in that tag team. At this rate, you might as well abolish those belts because you ain't got no women's tag team in that division. They're just basically going to be makeshift, and they're just going to continue with the titles. Like, at this point, just abolish them. Just abolish them.
I literally ranted about this with Megan. Those titles don't mean jack shit. They didn't mean jack shit when they were literally controversially not used in NXT.
And it's like, yeah, the Riot Squad should have had at least a women's tag team title reign. But now that Ruby's gone, we ain't going to get that now.
I get the feeling Liv Morgan's time is almost up there.
I don't know, because they did like produce content for her. I mean, she had her own WWE Network special. Look at the Time Drive report as a single.
Hear me out.
Go for it.
Okay, what if I told you the WWE Network was producing a series for guys like Buddy Murphy, and it was exclusive in Australia?
Right, further marketing, international marketing.
They did that.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing a digital series for Australian viewers, and Buddy Murphy was one of the main stars on it.
Gee, I wonder why.
Wow.
So they said, okay, we got this new content coming out. Let's throw it out now after like 3 months.
Because Vince doesn't think it's such good shit. Go figure.
I'm like, it was exclusive in Australia, so I don't know what the reception was.
Well, again, though, if you want to expand your audience, that is a focused, localized market that literally you could just do all in one thing. And Buddy Murphy would probably be like their biggest standout from Australia, besides my contract.
Now it's all for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, Akeem, continue your thoughts on the other releases.
Let's see. Yeah, there was Ruby, and then there was Alistair, and then there's Braun, and it's like Lana. I'm like, Lana released?
That would surprise me.
That was a head scratcher.
She fits everything Vince likes, except that she's in a relationship with Miro.
And I bet probably one of the reasons why. But other than that, I really do think when we talk about Lana here, I really do see her joining AEW to be with her husband. But in all honesty, in my opinion, I don't think that she should be wrestling. Well, not like full time. Like if you want her if you want her to do like a mixed tag team match,
I think regarding Lana Wrestling, I think they'll do her with Dark and Dark Elevation for a little
That's
bit.
what I'm thinking, because again, on Dark Elevation, she can be used as enhancements.
but if you want to do like her manager, yeah, she could be on Dynamite, but will Miro just managing her or something? That's where I feel like it probably Miro don't need her like on screen.
Also, speaking of Miro, he talked about the releases saying this: you can't soar with the eagles if you're hanging with the turkeys.
Dead birds.
Oh, you should see what CM Punk said.
Oh, I did see a little bit in the chat, only a little bit.
Right, because CM Punk.
This is what he said about the releases and about the company.
Go for
It's like a movie with a blockbuster budget and cast, but it's written by a creatively bankrupt nincompoop specifically for an audience of one. In a language nobody understands anymore. It's trash, but people watch it because they like movies.
Yeah, that sums up any movie that Hollywood can come up with, because regardless.
Guess what one of my followers said?
What did my father say?
He said, "Oh, so like the Bay Transformer movies?"
I mean, to be honest, they are kind of, Control C, Control V. Aha! Explosions! Kiss scene. Explosions! Robots fighting. Kiss scene.
Also, I gotta say this. Okay, this was the thing I wanted to tell you guys earlier, but now I want to tell you just to see your faces.
Go for it.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Front Office Sports reported something big with WWE about 12 to 13 hours before the release's cut happened. Guess what WWE wants to do now?
Besides sell the company, surprise me.
Well, besides that, probably. They said this was the report on Front Office Sports. Now, let me see your reaction when I read this. WWE is ready to expand from wrestling to a full-scale media universe. Like, the strategy is to become the next Marvel with content driven by characters like Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. We're gonna be Thanos. We're gonna be Iron Man.
Did I not pontificate on this on the last ATW View open mic? I'm not going to retort or retcon myself because WWE does that enough. So with that being said, WWE, you're bloody insane. Let me talk to you. The fact that Aleister Black got released, in my opinion, shocks me compared to what they were doing with him on SmackDown. I thought they were finally driving something forward. Braun Strowman, in my opinion,
a song for him just for his character, and then they were like,
and now we're never going to see it. I was curious where this Biggie Aleister Black feud could go because they're two incredible workers. Anyway, Braun Strowman, though, I mean, I thought he literally was a pride Vince McMahon prospect because literally he's everything Vince likes. He's a big guy who could do the work, who could be favorable among children,
muscular,
and sell merchandise. But apparently, and to be fair, I respected Braun Strowman because, again, I thought he was pretty cool at times. But the fact that he also got his body together too when he returned, he was in a triple threat with Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. I'll admit that match was pretty darn good for three big men fighting. And I can get now he's outside the WWE title picture, so maybe they didn't have someone directly there for him. But out of nowhere, him released that just doesn't add up to me. And a guy of his stature, that's not going to be easy, I feel like, to necessarily find the right fit for him. But I know he's got potential, so I hope he does find his fit.
Though it also depends on if the other companies will be like, should we really take this guy on since he just called us a bunch of bega losing?
It's one of those things where you think about if forgiveness is something that's easily held up.
Yeah, people brought that up regarding Mark Henry joining AEW about how he and some other people squashed their issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, again.
Yeah, though, whereas that was Mark Henry with some issues with certain people, Braun Strowman publicly called out the entire independent wrestling scene.
Yeah, I'm not sure what sort of work you need to do to recover from that, but Braun Strowman, all the best. Buddy Murphy, in my opinion, he's one of those dynamic wrestlers that I felt could wrestle anybody. I mean, heck, he wrestled Roman Reigns in one of the better matches of his career. And for a while, they were doing something weird with him and Seth and Mysterios, and then it looks like that all just fell off the face of the earth. So at one point, they were trying to put Buddy Murphy back with Seth. I was like, no, No.
And remember that was not the worst thing. The worst thing was when they were inadvertently capitalizing on speaking out.
Exactly, which is the whole dynamic of the age train that drove the internet up a wall. But as far as Buddy Murphy goes, I see him basically being able to work anywhere. Santana Garrett.
And there is one person that said, I would love to fight Buddy Murphy.
And which one was that?
You'll hear the battle cry.
I want to see that match. I
wrote a list of people I want to see where they go.
Right, and we'll talk about that in a moment. I just want to give my brief thoughts based on what they did there. And then, of course, Lieutenant Garrett, you talk about how a while back there was a prospect of recreating a Charlie's Angels group with her in 2 hours in NXT. It looked like they never really did anything with her or just didn't find a spot with her in the evolving NXT women's roster, which I'm kind of surprised by with someone of her experience. And Lana, despite what people think about her and the booking, can't argue that she literally did what she needed to do. And at the end of the day, whether you disrespect or disagree with booking of a character on a TV, there's still people at the end of the day that were living out the dream trying to feed their families. And her and Naomi seemed like they were having fun, legitimate friendship. Well, now Naomi's on her own again. I can only hope this means maybe now she'll finally get what she deserves. That's a push towards the title. And I think that about covers everybody. Buddy, Lana, Garrett, Alistair, Braun Strowman, Murphy. Yeah, so all I can say is it's a really weird 6-group release that honestly, I feel like nobody honestly deserved this. But with that being said, when one door closes, a new venture awaits. Despite 90-day wait, so we know they're not going to show us Summerversary. Let's go ahead and talk about the prospect and the potential that could be awaiting all these great men. Now, Eric, you solely alluded to already Buddy Murphy for one. He could go to AEW and face Kenny Omega. So give me your thoughts on these 6. I know we did tweets regarding like companies.
There was one more thing I wanted to mention about Nick Khan.
Okay, go ahead.
So not only is he the president and chief revenue officer of the WWE, he has been elected to the board of directors.
So basically, he's the second most powerful person in the company, almost.
Pretty much.
Oh, well, good on him. And again, if people think
you have to imagine how Triple H is feeling, because it's like, I did this for over 10 years, and this guy comes in for 1 year, and I'm replaced already.
Well, we already knew he got demoted, but again, when you have different philosophies versus Vince, you're not going to be necessarily.
Yeah, especially since Triple H and Vince are families, so that's going to be awkward Thanksgiving nights I would want to see.
Every year at holidays in general, I gotta imagine it's awkward with the family in general. Again, this might be the most controversial family in America, and that's saying something. But again, they don't have reality shows, so who the hell knows what goes on there? But yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, I had said that I made a list of people I want where they could go, and yes, I even included Braun Strowman. And regarding Braun Strowman, like I said, he might have a little bit of an issue unless he apologizes for what happened. Also, I still support the guy even after he blocked me.
Well, that's a whole different.
Yeah, he blocked me, and here's the thing. I never tagged him in it when I responded about his comment. He had to vanity search.
Apparently he was like, I don't need to see this. I don't need to know my name's out there like this. I see it, #block. Again, that's just some way some people react without tagging. But go ahead and give us your thoughts on where you think these all can go.
Okay. Braun Strowman, New Japan Pro Wrestling, since there are big men there, and Braun Strowman could surprise us since he has room to fly a little bit. MLW.
They are doing an open draft with the fact they are trying to recreate Lucha Underground as Azteca Underground. We saw Jeff Cabas with Tanza Cueto. Braun Strowman could probably play a random brother of the Cueto family.
Yeah. Aleister Black, okay, he has the most potential. Impact, New Japan, AEW for starters.
The big 3 basically is what you're saying. I literally thought about Aleister Black if Jon Moxley ever formed his own group, being with New Japan, called Death Riders.
Actually, here's the thing. Tommy End, the Dark Order.
That too.
Because
look for a new one.
Yes, Brody Lee is not replaceable because, he will forever edge our hearts with him being the leader of the Dark Order. God rest his soul. But I do see him being in the Dark Order, but with a little twist. and making the Dark Order even more dark of what he can bring to the table, what his character in AEW.
So let me see if I get what you're trying to say. We should turn the Dark Order into the Darker Order.
Well, did not John Silver once said that
yes,
if we have to, we can unleash a darker side than we've ever unleashed before?
Yeah, I know. I'm just putting a joke on the name. And John Silver even said that while all the funny stuff is fun, we do miss the dark days when we were the Dark Cult.
Well, again,
there you go.
Sometimes in wrestling, it's fun being a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Okay, so Ruby Riott, I added Impact Wrestling, and I added a surprising one.
Which one?
The National Wrestling Alliance.
That would be interesting because she definitely is a workhorse, and she could definitely bring a lot to the table there for that evolving women's division with Sky Blue, Alex Gracia, and potentially potentially Camille if she's the champion.
Don't forget Kylie Ray.
Hot take. First off, mental health is one of the most strenuous, sensitive, important things to deal with in life. And everybody deals with it differently, whether you have a condition, whether you have different structured, if yourself, whether it's something that is pushed forward based on what you do in life. Kylie Ray has spoke openly about this across interviews with Chris Van Lee, and even shared it with her wrestling friends at one point that she was going to retire, take some time off. What's most important is that the person herself took the time and care that she needed, only had the only good influences around her, and literally got the help she needed. But then again, it's like Undertaker and Shawn Michaels said, chasing the dragon. When you love something so much, you want to leave on your own terms the right way. And in my opinion, Kylie Ray has still unlimited potential in her wrestling career because she has impacted so many freaking people. That being said, I am super curious if this falls through this Sunday on the NWA pay-per-view when our shadows fall, but I am not going to assume anything because at the end of the day, I hope the person's okay, not just the wrestler, because mental health is something that you have to consider.
Here's the thing I keep thinking when I see Kylie Ray. I think her mind doesn't know how to cope with large crowd events.
I agree, because think about it. She was in Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling has no people. When she came out during Double or Nothing in 2019, I think she was truly overwhelmed from the get-go to the point she didn't know how to handle that sort of reaction. It was probably one of her, if not the biggest crowd she performed in front of to date.
Yeah. As for Lana, AEW, I see her going to AEW.
I don't, unless she literally becomes a backstage. Unless she becomes a backstage.
I see her going to AEW or Impact Wrestling.
Well,
Garrett Murphy, I added New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you'd hit the nail on the head with Buddy Murphy. Now, let me ask you about Buddy Murphy, because again, I think he's one of the most dynamic wrestlers. For most of his career in WWE, he was a cruiserweight, but he was one hell of a cruiserweight champion. I still go back and look at his matches with Mustafa Ali, some of my favorite matches in 205 Live history. If he was to come into New Japan, do you see him coming in first off like Shingo did, junior heavyweight that becomes a heavyweight? Like, could he have like one of those runs in the Best Super Juniors like Shingo did?
Maybe.
Potentially.
That was my thinking about Buddy Murphy. As far as Santana Garrett, I mean, she formerly worked in Ring of Honor. I would not count out Ring of Honor either, since they are rebooting the women's division. By the way,
Ring of Honor has so much internal politics going on. Last I heard, I think it would be best to just like stay away from that for a while till things calm down.
But ain't Maria working on the women's division creatively?
Yes.
Though, considering the history with Ring of Honor and their women, it's like, we should not go into that.
Well, kudos to Maria Kanellis trying to change that, because again, as she also spoke in interviews, she literally is working from ground zero to try and do what her and Mickey, for example, were trying to do in the WWE. And by the way, Mickey James is still somebody we're also wondering where she's going to go, but that was from the previous releases. I loved all your suggestions. As far as Ruby Riott, the first match that came to my mind after a screenshot I saw, and apparently these two faced each other on the Indies, Ruby Riott versus Kimberly. Give me that match. Kimberly, in my opinion, is one of those wrestlers that is highly underrated and is a tremendous athlete. And I would love to see what Ruby Riott could do in Impact Wrestling, where the Knockouts division is such a positive spotlight and focus with its dynamic group. Let's see here. You said Buddy Murphy, you said Santana Garrett. AEW, yeah, definitely I can see her involved on Dark Elevation, pushing forward talent. Lana, I just don't want to see her back in that same type of manager role with Rusev, because I don't think Rusev necessarily needs that. I would not mind seeing Lana as part of, like you said, enhancement. The only other place I can see Lana going, and this is a long shot, May Valentine's a freaking interviewer in the NWA. Lana could probably do interview commentary stuff there, like Velvet Sky tries on commentary. I think she has a ton of potential to do that, since we know.
Yeah, I also was going to put down NWA for Lana, though the reason why I just wrote AEW is probably because of Miro.
Well, I can understand that because, you know, father and, or not husband and wife. I mean, we're also wondering where Zia Trinidad's going to go, and I got to imagine wherever Aleister Black goes, she's going to go. And again, Aleister Black, NJPW, AEW, the man can work anywhere. He could do something wild in Impact Wrestling against, I feel like, Decay or something. But Braun Strowman, that's the weird one, because you know, Big Show and Braun Strowman, they had great chemistry. Big Show, of course, put over Braun Strowman. You wonder if maybe Braun Strowman and Big Show might figure out something to bring Braun Strowman in to be part of AEW. Because I could see that being definitely a heavy-duty force involved in some way with a world of factions. So I feel the sky's the limit for all 6 of these people. And personally, I wish them the best. Now, those weren't the only releases that we learned of course, this week. As AEW has some disgruntled workers, why is it so hard for people to just be nice, considerate people? As it looks like Awesome Khan and Shauna are no longer with AEW. So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's disgruntled. I think it's just amicable parting because they haven't been on TV in a year.
Well, Khan hasn't, but Shauna, of course. Well, again, pandemic, it's kind of hard to not be. But apparently she had some very what's the word I'm looking for? Intense comments regarding a community that
I heard about that. I heard about that.
Kind of made people think about her in a different way. And you wonder if that was maybe something towards her. But Awesome Kong, that's an odd one for me because I understand, you know, Glow is over. We're going for pandemic, but I wonder why she's, you know, gone. Because I thought that her and Nyla Rose could have formed like a program or something. She was such a big deal the very first day they brought her in. And of course, last time we saw her, she was written off by Lufer and Mel. Mel, of course, been MIA forever too. But
yeah.
So does anyone have any further thoughts regarding the releases?
I don't know what happened.
Right.
I think maybe at best because Awesome Kong wants to just retire or something.
I mean, at one point she stopped wrestling because she wanted to be a mother. So there you go. And again, how far do you take yourself in wrestling? Former Knockouts champion in TNA, one of the all-time greats. So, I mean, it's an odd circumstance. And Shauna, get your act.
Okay. Oh, God. I just found something. Guess what Jeff Jarrett said as part of his indoctrination by WWE.
Isn't he still with the WWE on a Legends
contract? He's been indoctrinated. Guess what he said about Santos Escobar?
Santos Escobar. What did he say?
I would like to see him on Raw or SmackDown.
Well, that's the way people think when it comes to NXT talent. Wouldn't they be great on Raw or SmackDown? SmackDown, maybe. Raw, you're doomed. Which leads me to this topic on behalf of our queen, Megan Chiba. This is for you. What in the blue holy hell are they doing with Shayna Baszler to the point you got Reginald beating her on distraction, where I think at this point you might as well have Nia Jax and Reginald have a live sex celebration and shove Reginald straight up Nia Jax's hole when you consider that Shayna Baszler is a former NXT Women's Champion and you're reducing her to this comedy skit shit to the point she is arguing with a girl and her possessed doll. What am I about to see here? Something out of the freaking Conjuring? This is absolute trash. You're telling me a mixed martial arts fighter, one of the best female competitors you have on your freaking roster, is reduced to this shit? Someone tell me how to fix this. What the fuck are they doing with Shayna Baszler? This is for you too, baby.
There's nothing you can do to fix that because basically she's doomed. Burial brought to you by Bruce Pritchard, Mr. I love you.
Okay, here's the thing. People once again like to bring up how she's not buried and whatnot.
Oh crap! She has a spot on television. She shows up every week. She's on the screen.
It's more like people were like, should they get buried? You wonder what buried's like? It's like when Triple H was being buried after the curtain call. And I was like, okay, I can get your point on that. If Shayna was booked, like every move she did failed miserably. Like she chokes out Reginald and Reginald somehow gets back up after like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's called a no sell. That's called a no sell, just saying. And that's something you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, she may not be buried, but she's certainly extremely downgraded from her call up. Like, remember, she showed up doing a vampire gimmick,
which I still don't understand to this day.
Yeah, they never brought that up ever again. Then she beat everyone in the chamber, which was a mixed reception for people.
Because literally we were waiting for 3-minute intervals of something to happen while her and Asuka were literally just bolstering each other while Asuka was still.
And then she was supposed to defeat Becky, or at least Becky was trying to convince them, no, let Shayna beat me. I want to lose.
But Vince said,
no, we can't have that. She has tattoos, most likely, as the excuse.
Then explain. Yeah. I'm like.
And then she chokes out Rey Mysterio, who subsequently gets murdered by Corbin, only to pop into existence the next night. And then she teams up with Nia Jax literally out of nowhere. And now here we are with Reginald, and now we're like, no, you can't fix this. No, you cannot fix this. Like, I get it, you want comedy, but Shayna is an MMA fighter. You already ruined it when you got rid of the 4 Horsewomen dream match that people wanted, regardless of the quality. But now Shayna is jobbing to Reginald,
who is a former 2-time NXT Women's Champion, and they're doing
her. You gotta remember this. Shayna has been in intergender wrestling matches and has murdered people in it.
Yes, go watch some of her stuff in the independent scene, folks. I know how legit she is. With that being said, we know now that she literally said you're just stupid duh, and then literally Bliss got possessed. So we'll see the fallout of this next week. So I gotta ask you, are they trying to turn Shayna Baszler into a freaking horror movie actor? Is she gonna be fearing Alexa Bliss and Tilly?
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Shayna's a B plot in this. She is not the main character of this story. It's Nia, because Alexa Bliss has a history with Nia. Shayna is just casualty fodder.
But Alexa Bliss will eventually eventually face Nia Jax and win.
Yeah, and okay, now here's the thing you have to think about. How do you no-sell Nia? Alexa Bliss has to do the Fiend stuff, so she has to no-sell Nia regardless if she botches or not.
I imagine that if Nia drops the leg on Bliss, she literally will just stuff like the Undertaker.
It may be, unless Nia really screws up with the leg drop.
Well, we all know Nia botches more than others. Disclaimer, folks, we know that all wrestlers botch, but it's been frequently known that Nia Jax frequently botches to the point she has legitimately injured people, and apparently no action has been taken because she's related to The Rock. But I digress.
What
was that, King?
That came out of nowhere. There is one other thing. Holly got a producer for WWE.
Don't. Continue, Eric.
Molly Holly apparently got a producer tryout.
Now, did she actually do it, or is it still
She was apparently doing this for Monday Night Raw, so she's screwed.
Oh God.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, and okay, and now we have to go to AEW for a sec.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we all saw Sting, right? We saw how awesome Sting was.
Woo! That was actually pretty darn impressive.
He got backstage.
Oh, like that.
He popped backstage for his performance.
I figured.
Yeah, so he got a celebration backstage for that. But guess what happened?
Uh-oh.
Did he strain something?
No. This is stupider.
Uh-oh. What did he do?
He didn't do anything wrong other than exist in the wrong company in the tribalists' eyes. Guess what they went to do?
What did they do?
Oh, so you praise Sting, a 62-year-old, but bash Goldberg?
Okay, here's the difference. Morality standpoint. One's in for the money. The other is in it to push forward wrestling. Case in point,
I would like to state that Goldberg is not a wrestler in the traditional sense, and also he doesn't really do 17-minute matches as he tries.
No, he don't, because
He gets
I think
extremely
Remember what happened
winded.
last time he tried
Yeah.
to do a 10-minute match? Someone almost
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, he almost, yeah, literally. And it was said during the last ride, we literally thought that was it for the man, Mark Galloway. But I digress. And they're like,
But-
you know, it just wasn't, everything wasn't working there. Of course, Mark Galloway being the more so cooler-minded individual, while I'm sure Vince McMahon was ready to shoot somebody out. But I digress. I mean,
because Goldberg, Goldberg's
Also,
the same guy who ended Bret Hart's wrestling career
and
as
that was
well.
when he was in his prime.
mm-hmm.
Prime, if you want to call that.
Key word there is
Here's the
prime.
thing. Okay, here's one other thing. So, what did you think of Jimmy Smith on Raw?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that because I talked about this last week on the NoDQ review. Let's go ahead and change gears here. So, bottom line, Megan, Big G, Shayna Baszler, there's no hope. Sorry. Okay, let's move on to commentary integrity and the disconnection. When it comes to WWE, we have not felt that same connection to what is being told to us through the voices of the WWE. Because we don't have voices like Taz, JR, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby the Brain Heenan, JBL, and dare I say it, the combination of Michael Cole and Taz was the most effective on SmackDown, though Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, it's working to a degree. But there's that disconnect. They brought in this MMA guy right now to be the play-by-play guy. It's like I said in the NoDQ review last week. The play-by-play job has to be the hardest job in the business because you gotta literally know the sport, and in a way you need to love the sport to better know it and follow it and understand it. This guy, however, he seems to have a sports-related mind, but I don't know necessarily how much you correlate his MMA stuff to wrestling. I thought he was okay for his first going. That being said, we're not necessarily here to review just this guy, but I want to get your guys' outtakes on WWE commentary in general. When did it first start going off the rails? And what do you think they can do to try and savage it across any brand?
Well, okay. Speaking of Jimmy Smith, I didn't watch Raw. I don't watch Raw anymore because if I do, I'm pretty sure I'll die.
I looked at one highlight, because I will say this. Randy Orton is still one of the most consistent workers during this pandemic. And so far, he's adapting to everything around him. And this Riddle and Orton thing is weird, but I'm kind of engaged in it, bro.
Yeah, though it is kind of tone whiplash with Orton because wasn't he trying to murder someone like for months now, and now he's just doing comedy stuff with Bro?
It's almost like Randy Orton is complacent with what he does and is just ready to flip the page on the fly. Like, okay, I beat the Fiend. I'm moving on now with my life. Oh, this Riddle guy, he's got potential. I want to work with this guy. And here we are, future tag champs, calling it now. But anyway, continue your.
Okay. Jimmy Smith. So I didn't watch Raw, and because if I did, I'd probably die.
Right.
I will at least give WWE credit that the Department of Defense can weaponize it if they so choose as a weapon against humanity.
Oh, good grief. Sounds like a torture chamber device, but continue.
Yes, that too. But there is one thing Jimmy Smith mentioned about what happened during the commentary.
Uh-oh. What he said.
Oh boy.
Nothing bad. He said this, and you can take it that what you want with it, but Jimmy Smith said he found Vince McMahon in his ear helpful.
Well, he is the guy that literally leads the company and will guide you in the way he expects you to work. So
yeah, but whenever you hear the whole Vince is in someone's ear, it'll usually think Michael Cole's a child. Like, here's the thing: what I think when commentary went downhill was when the PG era happened, and then when Michael Cole was a heel and did all these cartoonish antics.
Oh, it was the year of WrestleMania 27.
The biggest misfit ever. Good God.
You mean worse than Mike Adamle?
Oh, when he said Jeff Harvey.
Oh God.
And let's not forget, he was the Gerald Matt that brought us the greatest pay-per-view ever. Fatal 4-Way.
Okay, here's the thing about Mike. Okay. WWE was like, okay, he sucks on commentary. Okay. Just have him be the general manager. He can read off of a clipboard to read scripts, and I somehow still screwed up.
And then he said, I quit. And whether or not that was scripted, because he's like, I'm not going to let this job corrupt me or not, I don't know. But Matt Gamley, love your American Gladiators. You are not a wrestling commentator. But anyway,
we're not.
Yeah, but
I remember the coal mine. I remember my Cole heel and the JR Michael Cole stuff made me cringe.
Oh,
that was definitely one of the worst times of my life. Continue.
Yeah, and the Renaissance almost happened during the Ryan Ward SmackDown with Ranello. Then JBL being an a-hole ruined it.
Yes, Marinello, the
Oh,
last great voice of the WWE.
Award.
The last great voice of the WWE commentary since good old JR left.
Yeah, and now Marinello is back in commentary, and now he's happier than ever. And also, he got his passion back thanks to Kenny Omega and Rich Swann.
That was a damn good match.
I still go back and watch that match every chance I get.
So do you think there's any way to savage commentary in the WWE?
Okay, that's the tough part, because you got these guys who are not wrestling people, but are told, come on board and whatnot. So unless you really love wrestling, that's the big difference. Like Michael Cole, he wasn't a sports commentator. He was an interviewer, but he loved wrestling and passion and whatnot. So he at least tried to put in the effort.
And then it became robotic and monotonous.
Yes, and then now WWE is operating under the philosophy of put a gun to someone's head and then we'll see if they'll make magic. If not, then we'll pull the trigger. And then we'll probably screw it up and miss.
So how long you giving Jimmy Smith?
Let's see. Well, he had a much better debut than what the last guy was, so I think he has a shot to stick around a little bit longer.
He has some energy.
But due to the increasing decline in WWE management with Nick Khan on the rise, I wouldn't be, considering how much Aleister Black, Braun Strowman were on TV, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Khan said, no, we gotta get rid of this Jimmy Smith guy.
Right, because he doesn't fit the mold. All right.
Or like it's part of a downsizing plot. Like like I said, there are speculations that WWE might put themselves up for sale, and people have jokingly, ironically said, what if it was Disney that bought them?
I keep saying that. I think Disney will do it. And then next thing you know, we'll have WWE content on Disney Plus.
Oh, you want to know what could be worse?
Go for it.
Imagine Mickey Mouse as general manager. You may kill me after that.
I got you. I got one better than you. Imagine a John Cena return. We have Mickey Mouse versus John Cena at WrestleMania.
No, it would be John Cena. It would be John Cena.
I got a worse one.
I'm just gonna say this real quick. It'll be John Cena and Mickey Mouse from The Miz. But anyway, continue.
I got something far worse than that.
Go for it.
Go ahead. Lay it on us.
At least John Cena will beat up the mouse. Anyways, what if Jillian Hall sings "Let It Go"?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I went there. I have unleashed a new weapon of mass.
No, my
lord! Destruction.
You just set up a freaking winter cosplay Christmas episode of Monday Night Raw. God!
I have unleashed the darkness.
Oh my god! What you just did was probably, if that were to ever happen, my ears will be bleeding all the way down to my chin. That's what's going to happen.
At least Vicky Guerrero only says 2 words. God. Anyway, King, you now have the floor. So,
I have unleashed mutually assured destruction.
And you probably also just did in the future. Lord help the WWE and all who work in it.
Yeah. Also, one last thing. Raw. Okay, there's an incident with Raw.
Why am I not surprised?
Right.
Okay. So remember when the opening segment was Miz TV?
Isn't that usually a thing?
Yeah. Well, Vince was pissed.
With Miz TV?
Right. Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah, he uses Miz to really pontificate his points.
Okay. The opening segment was too long.
Monday Night
Raw. That was
Raw,
Vince's
too long.
complaint. It went around 8 to 10 minutes longer than initially allowed it.
Seriously, the initial segment usually goes for like 15 minutes.
But yeah, he wants to
get it. He was like, nope, you went past the time, so we got to punish you. So it looks like Nikki Cross is going to get buried again for this because they'll blame someone.
Again, the only clip that I looked at was the one thing that actually intrigues me in Monday Night Raw, and that is RK Bro, and that's when I heard Jimmy Smith's voice. And so far, now I've seen Riddle use the RKO and Randy Orton use the Bro Derek. Future tag champs, that's all I gotta say, and that's the only thing that matters in Monday Night Raw. That's it, that's all. King, what is the disconnection with you and commentary? I mean, we look at all 5 of the WWE brands. We got this Jimmy Smith guy on Monday Night Raw. I'm sure you look at Raw a little more than me, because again, the only clip that I only looked at one YouTube clip. But I also see you still have that same picture of the Raw logo with 3 certain words. That being said, let's not just focus on one brand. Let's focus on the entire company's commentary outlook. Give me your thoughts on the current state of commentary. Where you think is the strongest, the weakest, and what would you do to salvage it, if anything? Now, in my opinion, though, I do want to give you this thought. Samoa Joe worked in the company. He was a wrestler and he was a commentator. In my opinion, the biggest connection you can have with wrestling and its fans is have the wrestler as a commentator. That's why I think Samoa Joe offered so much to Monday Night Raw commentary. Do you think
CM Punk hate his time as commentator?
What's up?
Didn't CM Punk admit he hated his time as commentator because there was an old man yelling in his ear?
True that, but it looks like Samoa Joe was on better graces with Vince for a longer part because he was a longer part commentator.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that, especially every time when I remember that whole, even Bruce Pritchard was like, hey, Vince, why do you think Samoa Joe is a fat Samoan? Like,
yeah, and also, like,
I'm a kiss ass.
And Vince thinks literally like a Samoa Joe, like, he looks better right here in the commentary seat. But you gotta admit, while Joe was on commentary, as far as we heard, he was great. So King
he went through a storm in a
poncho. He could have been struck by lightning. Poncho Joe. But King, regarding making a wrestler a commentator, male or female, what's the best? What's the worst? How can you make it better on the worst cases? Give me your thoughts on the state of commentary throughout the WWE.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this by like best to worst is what I'm gonna do this, and I'm probably gonna give a brief thought on the best to the worst of who I say and whatever. The best right now is NXT because you got, in my opinion, you got 2 wrestlers who are commentators now, and Wade Barrett and Beth Phoenix, and they know what they be talking about in the ring as far as the moves and the storytelling. And Vic Joseph, I think he's okay. I think he's improved a little bit in my opinion. I've always liked Vic Joseph, to be honest. I mean, Vic Joseph, in my opinion, yeah, he's not great, but he's decent. In my opinion, he's decent. He's manageable. He's listenable.
Fair enough.
And decent SmackDown. I hate to say it, but when it comes to Pat McAfee and his little, genuine responses here and there with Rick Booz and Shinsuke Nakamura, I gotta admit, I like Pat McAfee on SmackDown. He draws me in for some reason because I guess some, if like you said, like you touched on, if you love the sport and you have the passion for the sport of wrestling, then it draws your attention. Mm-hmm. So, and with Pat McAfee, I feel like, okay, he's going to stick around long, because this dude just got through, like, not too long ago, having a match with Adam Cole, baby, in a very darn good NXT match. Very darn good from Pat McAfee.
Still can't believe how good that match was from NXT TakeOver 30. Continue.
Like, and that's what I think his passion, like, it really showed that he loves wrestling. His passion is there in the ring, and he brought that to commentary, and it's basically like, I can watch SmackDown a little bit more than besides Roman and Sasha and Bianca and others. Because Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are actually working together. But now Raw. Oh boy. I mean,
poor Corey Graves.
This, and I stopped watching Raw for now a month. Yeah, I just see the results on Twitter, and I just go back and watch them on YouTube, like on their YouTube channel. But Jimmy Smith, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about because he's coming from UFC. So basically, you got to know the moves, basically the basic moves when it comes to wrestling. Because some MMA fighters have a wrestling background, correct. So you at least know a little bit of wrestling in your repertoire. But also, you got to deal with you got to tell the story in the ring, and he's working on that. I mean, it was his first time on the job, on the main roster, because we've seen this guy as stand and deliver on the pre-show with Wade Barrett.
Correct.
So that's when, okay, they're going to, we're probably going to have another commentary guy. But Byron and Corey, they're still Byron and Corey. They're always going to be entertaining when it comes to those two. So it ain't really nothing new. But my thing is, why did y'all fire Tom Phillips? Why? Why did y'all fire?
Like, wouldn't you need like a backup plan if you lost Jimmy Smith?
Yeah, I would think that Tom Phillips was the backup plan to Michael Cole, because isn't Michael Cole's whole job right now to find the next him, because he wants to go actually backstage? He's been at it for 20 years.
Also,
exactly.
Hasn't he also expressed frustration with WWE at some points in recent times?
I feel like at this point, Michael Cole is just fed up.
Michael Cole, who's one of Vince's favorites, is saying something
by force if necessary.
Also, I went on cagematch.net. I just found out something about Raw.
Uh-oh.
What'd you find out?
Only one match was past 10 minutes.
Again,
see,
I'm gonna guess.
If I have to guess,
main event.
If I have to guess, my mind drawing a blank. Get lay the information out for me. My mind drawing a blank.
McIntyre defeats Kofi. That lasted 22 minutes and 40 seconds.
That was
McIntyre and Kofi are workhorses. Continue, King.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Say this, and I watched that match. Like, that's the only time I watched the Raw was that last part, like that lasted that third hour. That was actually a darn good TV match for 22 minutes.
With commercials.
With commercials. They took away from it, but it was still a very good match nonetheless.
What else you got in your mind, Eric?
But here's the thing. You want to know how long it took for Nikki Cross to defeat Charlotte, the Queen?
2 minutes. No, 1 minute. Yeah, 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes of Nikki Cross versus Charlotte Flair. Randy Orton versus the Woods, 9 minutes.
Again, well, Randy Orton slows the match. So
methodical.
9 minutes.
More methodical with his stop.
Longer since it's Orton, but guess how long it took for Reginald to defeat Shayna?
I heard. Now, again, I didn't watch, and again, I have no idea what these timelines are. So this would surprise me. Go for it.
Was it 30 minutes?
No, it was 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
Women's wrestling.
Retribution Rejects defeat Lucha House Party in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Ricochet versus Sheamus was 1 minute and 15.
Good God.
Sheamus what?
Versus
a minute and 15?
Sheamus and Ricochet?
Yeah.
A minute 15.
Yes. Oh, you want to know how long Cedric Alexander versus Shelton Benjamin was? That's stupider.
10 seconds.
28.
Dang it.
So Raw to this point has become more so a living, walking advertisement versus a wrestling show.
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, these are AEW Dark Elevation match lengths.
Except
AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation produce good quality matches that give us time and digest
and they're trying to actually develop future wrestlers.
But this is Raw, the A show of WWE.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. Since Roman Reigns came back and became the tribal chief, SmackDown is the A show. Raw's become
it was actually since Fox said we value SmackDown more. Damn it, they value SmackDown more. Tell Raw to go F off.
Yeah, and I'm sure Vince was like, okay, fine, they pay more money. Damn it. Anyway, I get it.
I was like, oh, God.
That's crazy.
And out of all the matches, only 3 broke the 5-minute mark to make you rate the matches individually.
It's like, why watch Raw?
Yeah, and here's the thing about the buy-in for Double or Nothing.
That was such a damn
good 14 minutes and 5 seconds.
I knew that was about 15 minutes. Rio, Serena, D brought it. And we're going to talk about a high note now as I close with the commentary thing about this. You forgot also NXT UK. Simple, subtle, 1 hour fun content. Love the combination of Andy Shepherd and
yeah, that reminded me. Apparently there's some big news going on between NXT US and NXT UK.
Sound exchange?
No idea. They just said that we're trying to confirm it, but there has been no updates about it. Some
So
people
we're-
are speculating they might try to merge the two. So you might need to get your guns ready and lose your minds.
To be fair, NXT and NXT UK right now are in a very good state, I think. Again, I thought this week's NXT was very awesome. And NXT UK, nice, simple, hour-long content. I'm not sure how you merge them unless you literally try and do a 3-hour NXT.
No, don't do that.
That'd be
You don't want to
okay.
go with the Raw direct.
Even Anthony Ogogo said, yeah, I can't watch Raw. It's too long.
Well, Josh Matthews, I can't believe I said that name. Josh Matthews even said on a BTI, who wants to watch a 3-hour wrestling show?
Yep, I did.
That was probably the smartest thing Josh Matthews ever said.
Yep.
Anyway, as far as commentary goes, yeah, I agree right now. The best commentary setup is definitely NXT when you got two wrestlers as the color and you got that female and male contrast. So you're looking at both sides of the equation here. And Vic Joseph, he has gotten better. He brings more energy, brings a bit more insight, and seems to know how to bounce between himself and the other two while interjecting himself when they're having a thought to call like a near fall, something like that. I think that Joseph has improved tremendously. I still think Pat McAfee's a bit weird, but I'll admit Pat McAfee's energy, it definitely brings out that vibe about SmackDown. Are you ready for a good time? His reactions seem organic, and seeing the way Michael Cole reacts to him sometimes, especially with Boogs, I gotta admit it's hilarious because Michael Cole looks like he's regretting his life sometimes. Raw, I don't know if they'll ever fix that. Honestly, the best set they had was
unless they get a bigger deal than Fox's deal with SmackDown, then they'll take it seriously again.
right. But the last time I thought it was okay was actually Tom Phillips, Samoa Joe, and Byron Saxton, because you had that wrestler, you had that play-by-play guy, and then you really had that goofy color commentary guy, was what Byron Saxton truly is. It's why he and Corey Graves with that same contrast that people are like, okay, this is okay. Now, as far as the Jimmy Smith guy, again, if you're a WWE fan, you're like, who the hell is this? We'll have to see how he moves going forward, especially at Hell in the Cell, but of course we're going to have him during the pay-per-view, where we're retconning Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley again. Round 3. Good.
So, wait. Yeah, here's the thing about that. Okay. Why have Kofi beat Bobby Lashley then?
Exactly.
I was about to say, I thought they were going to do Kobe versus Lashley. At least it would have been something different. I have no idea.
Yeah, people were mad, like really mad. People were saying, why do you all hate Drew McIntyre all of a sudden and whatnot? You're just jealous haters because, okay, here's the thing. They go ahead and say, you wanted Drew, now you got him, now you hate it. And I was like, it wasn't because of that. It was strictly because people wanted something fresh.
Right,
One
and
word.
I never...
One word.
Go ahead.
Over booking. King, you have the floor.
I never, I really didn't hate Drew. Like, and I think I touched on this on the last ATW View, that Drew McIntyre was carrying Raw on his back with the WWE Championship during the pandemic.
Damn right.
But like you touched on it, Noah, just now, overbooking. That's what simply kills your momentum and your character. Look at Rhea Ripley. Seriously, look at Rhea Ripley. You're having her read off of cue cards and can't even script her promos right. Well, she can't even, do her own promos correctly.
And it's not her fault, because again, WWE wants to turn you into something they want, not something you believe you should be. That's what it comes down to.
And it's just like, how do you book? This is the same company that has booked Roman to perfection right now, and yet they can't do that with Drew McIntyre.
It's got to be Paul Heyman influence. It's got to be Roman's family name influence. There's got to be something else there that has finally made the fact that Roman wants to be this, you let me be this, or I'm not coming back. And I think if it comes down to this, Roman is the top draw in the company. He is WWE. He is that guy.
And now, how do you think he feels about all these cuts, especially Braun Strowman?
Oh, I'm sure he's furious.
And now he has to be told, okay, Roman, we just fired a bunch of people. We have no NXT right now, and this is Black Wednesday again. So could you carry SmackDown for us again for like the 80th time, because we always screw up on this tag? Oh, imagine if they do another major screw up on Friday and Roman's going to be more pissed, because it will just continue the cycle that Roman's show has to constantly deal with the fallout of their stupidity.
And Roman will have to bear that pressure in the name of his own family name's pride and the connection of wrestling.
You want to know the sad thing? The sad thing is Paul Heyman and Roman are now joking about it. They're saying like, yeah, he's literally carrying everything.
Yeah, they're done. They're over it. They don't care. It's pretty much over at this point for them. So yeah, bottom line, commentary, strongest in NXT, NXT UK, Raw's figuring it out, SmackDown, you're okay. So not everything is okay, but at least some stuff is okay. And as far as Monday nights, there's only one thing that matters with my Monday night. Hashtag I'm all elite. And that's AEW Dark, Elevation AEW Dark, where we groom the future, get quality matches. Everybody seems to get a fair shot to try and really bring out what they are. Robert Renegade, for example, 2 great matches across both nights. Definitely one of my favorites, not just from the Ohio area. Jungle Boy, tremendous momentum, true original AEW risen, grown star. And we just came off a tremendous pay-per-view that reminded us why we are for wrestling fans in the first place, from Double or Nothing, with a full crowd where it was energy nonstop the whole night. The pay-per-view, there was variety, top to bottom, top quality matches and storytelling. You could have asked for something better as a pro wrestling fan. That being said, AEW, they're going back on the road. And this week, we kind of got a tease of what they might be doing going forward with these other platforms, considering how much content AEW gives us. They're planning to change things up as far as how they handle Dark and Elevation. Now, we saw literally both these shows. They were about hour to hour and a half, which I'm sure was a welcome change for people like us that are like, okay, we watch so much wrestling already. We love AEW brings, but can you like lessen the quantity down a bit? And they did. So, King, I want to start with you because, again, you're definitely all elite because you literally and I talk about this. Give me your thoughts on what you think they're going to do maybe with Dark and Elevation. Dark always been like that show they tape before and after, as I went to a Dynamite, give you a few matches before and after a show. Elevation, though, should they just maybe focus that on like the Florida area and like, you know, record like matches, content in advance, or like scripted or not scripted, but maybe like done it like at the factory. Give me your thoughts on how you think they should handle Dark and Elevation as they go live.
Casey just messaged us on Twitter.
Oh,
what did he say?
He says I am not sure. I'll just tell him while you're speaking that we're doing it right now, but you can drop in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, go ahead and interrupt us, preacher. But anyway, King, give me your thoughts on Dark Elevation. How you think it should be handled going forward? Now they're going back on tour. According to what I read, they're even handling Dynamite right now ahead of touring, recording multiple sessions of Dynamite right now. So it looks like things are really changing, but I'm curious how they're going to handle all this content.
Like, I think you pretty much just said it for me. I think, you know, because Dark yesterday was short. Like, it was like an hour.
5 matches.
5 matches, only an hour. And I was like, really? Could we be getting a tease of what's to come? I mean, yes, I am all elite. Yes, no, it's me. We're basically everyone here is all elite when it comes to this family. And I think they should lessen the quality, like lessen the time frame. Give us an hour on Dark, maybe an hour 30 on Dark Elevation if you really want, you know, to push that, you know, to get people basically say, oh, we're here on Mondays. Come watch us on Mondays. You don't got to watch that other company and be miserable. Come over here and watch us on Mondays to where, we can show you a good time. We can get you, into these matches and get see some future stars that you'll see on Dynamite. And
welcome to the forum, Casey.
Welcome, Casey.
Good to see you.
What's up, Fowles?
We're talking about AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark. How should they handle it going forward as they're about to go live? And
you're here. You can let your frustration and anger come out too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because I'm definitely gonna throw it back to you regarding at least one of the other topics. And I'll have one of the gentlemen decide which topic that is. But King, continue your point on the good stuff we're talking about right now. How AEW is going to handle their other platforms as they go live.
And plus something boggles my mind. I think somebody touched on this because I'm also with other people who talk about AEW. I think one of the people mentioned to me saying it's boggling that Kenny and Jungle Boy are going at it in 2 weeks, which kind of makes you wonder, what do they really have planned for Kenny when they go back on tour or at Miami? Because when you think about it, Kenny and Jungle, yes, it's going to be a classic match, no doubt about it. But it kind of makes you wonder, what do they have planned for when full crowds come back, starting with Miami, when they go back on tour for the first Dynamite? Like, do they want, like, are they really going to plan it out to be a big Dynamite as, you know, welcome back fans, you know, all around the world on a full tour and basically give us a stacked show like they've always been giving us, but this time with a full crowd? Or basically, and I think I touched it with them on one point, could we be seeing some NJPW influence come on the first Dynamite back on tour, or an Impact? Like, have they been saving up for this moment? Because think again, fellas, we have not seen a Knockout come to AEW. We've seen few of New Japan, like Kenta, Leo Rush, which, man, I was shocked when Leo Rush came out as the Joker. Okay. But we'll talk about that, you know, when we talk about this. And, like, let's see, Yuji Nagata, Ren Narita, and who else? We've seen Danny Limelight, Danny Limelight on a few occasions.
And Rocky Romero.
Like, Rocky Romero, which we had Roppongi come back on Dark.
That was such an incredible moment. Roppongi buys the play the music. I was marking out. There, I said it. Yeah, I said
it. But back to what I was saying about Dynamite, are they really saving up to where, okay, we're going to go full force and basically we're going to give y'all what y'all been wanting for this first tour back for Dynamite? To me, I feel like that's what they're doing. They're giving us teasers of, okay, we got Kenta, we got Rocky, we got Danny, Leo, and others. Are we finally going to see an Impact Knockout crossover? Because I know I've kept talking about this. I want to see Big Swole and Red Velvet versus Fire and Flavor. You got to run it to me. You got to run that with me. Because of the fact that because I just genuinely think with these four women in the ring, they can deliver us a very good women's tag team match, a very darn good one at that. But as far as Dark and Dark Elevation, I should think they're probably going to lessen the time frame. I say about an hour 30 for Elevation and an hour for Dark.
Fair enough. So you basically save people for the first 30 minutes of Monday Night Raw on Monday nights that choose to watch it. God bless all you reviewers that choose to. More power to you.
Amen. I got something to tell you.
What you got?
What up?
Aleister Black.
Oh, what do you say now?
Interesting.
So he went on Twitch and revealed that his no-compete clause ends on September 2nd.
Wait a minute.
Ooh.
All Out is September 5th.
Before All Out.
We got to keep an eye on that. We definitely got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Another thing to consider is that they also plan to do a women's casino battle royale All Out too. You got to wonder who might show up. You might literally get your point there because, as you know, King, we're on the quarterly pay-per-view schedule. We just came off to our nothing. Like, God, that was a fucking good pay-per-view. But now we gotta wait. We gotta wait.
That was a damn great pay-per-view.
We gotta wait all the way till September. And if you notice, the subtle grab about All Out, every AEW title was displayed in the background.
Mm-hmm. And people still talking about it's just finally going to be the moment that CM Punk finally shows his face. Now that we're getting a full crowd in Chicago.
Here's the thing about CM Punk and showing up. I said he's more entertaining the idea of wrestling again, at least. Like he did the Will Ospreay interview where he said, check me back in the summer and then ask me the question again.
There you go. And by the way, isn't Will Ospreay released from New Japan Pro Wrestling, or is he just?
No, he's very injured.
Okay, he's just very.
Yep.
So that idea of Will Ospreay going to NXT today is pretty much
the thing. At Dominion, we could see another Okada run, and we could do something for All Out.
Oh no! Oh,
Don't you dare.
Don't
Don't you freaking dare.
don't you dare. No.
Regal versus Okada 5.
Oh,
The belt
man.
collector going after the ultimate prize in the world, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
And we're gonna run it back with Okada and Omega. Oh my goodness.
I'm going an hour and 30
Okada.
minutes.
Omega.
God. That's crazy to think.
Omega.
That's crazy to think. Anyway, Eric,
So, Casey,
go
I
ahead.
know you want to talk about this. I know
All
you
right,
want
yep.
to make a big rant
Yep,
about
yep.
this, but I'll bring it up.
ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the preacher's moment.
The
This is
preacher.
the moment where we have Casey pontificate his thoughts on a topic we already discussed. So, Eric, choose the topic and give it to Casey. Casey, get ready.
Okay, Casey, they fired a bunch of people, and Eva Marie went on Twitter and made a very ill-timed tweet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
You know what that tweet is, Casey? You shared it.
Yes, I do. Let me tell you something right now.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Boy.
I'm gonna just listen here.
Eva fucking Murray. How fucking dare you, you arrogant, no good bitch. You don't have any respect for this business whatsoever. And how dare you post something like that when your fellow co-workers got released? Don't you have a heart? Don't you have a soul? And Ruby Riott, I mean, she is a phenomenal wrestler, and she can run circles all around you, and so can these great woman wrestlers, female wrestlers that they have now. So, Eva, I advise you to please shut the fuck up and let everybody grieve in peace about their firings, because nobody wants to hear your bullshit, because nobody gives a fuck what you got to say. Okay? So, Ruby Riott, Godspeed, sister. I hope you find work somewhere and you'll kill it wherever you thrive. And Buddy Murphy, same with you. And Eva, from now on, I mean, you could please read the fucking room instead of being a fucking idiot when you get down to it. And Eva Marie could not lace up Ruby Riott's boots, and she cannot lace up Ruby Riott, Dakota Kai, Jasmine Duke, Tony Storm, Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Miko Satomura, Asuka, Rhea Ripley, because Eva Marie doesn't hold a fucking candle to those names that I fucking mentioned. And one more person.
You want to know something surprising about Eva Marie's horribly timed tweet?
Yeah.
Even the WWE tribalists were like, bad time, Eva.
That tells you
good.
the tribalists actually show
Even the
humility.
tribalists are pissed.
Yeah, no, that's actually shocking.
Good. That makes me happy. I'm
Also,
very glad to hear that.
Guys, I need to tell you this. I know what will kill SmackDown. Not even Roman could carry it after this, if they do this.
What is it?
Open to working with WWE a little bit more.
What?
Oh, God, who?
Oh.
Who?
Uh-oh. I don't like it.
Let's
like
join our Logan Paulers.
No.
Game over.
God,
God.
hell no.
Game over.
You might as well go. You know what? Enjoy going the fuck out
Here's
of
something that will
business.
really make you mad. Here's something that I know will make you more mad about this. He went on his podcast after WrestleMania and says, "Oh, I got to owe something to Kevin Owens for that stunner."
Oh, for fuck's sakes. You're going to fucking do Kevin Owens dirty like this? If I was Kevin Owens,
hold on. I just thought of something. Ain't his fight with Floyd Mayweather this Sunday?
Oh yeah,
I think it
Yes,
might.
it is.
Think it might be.
focusing more-
I
Jake Paul.
hope and I pray and I pray on everything that I love in my 26-year-old life that Floyd Mayweather knock him out first round. No beep giving.
I fucking agree with you
I'm
there
pretty sure
because
Floyd Mayweather is going to try and strangle Jake when he gets the chance after what Jake's been pulling.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I hope he
Oh yeah,
does.
speaking of Jake Paul,
I hope he
speaking of Jake
does.
Paul, and I don't mean to get off topic of what we're talking about here with the commentary, bringing it back to Casey, but Jake Paul challenged a UFC striker and Tyrone Woodley.
I heard about that. I'm not too thrilled about that because when you get down to it, I mean, Jake Paul is scared to fucking fight Tyron Woodley inside of a damn octagon. And don't get me wrong, Tyron Woodley has had his ups and downs lately. I mean, the dude was a former UFC welterweight champion, for God's sakes. And Tyron Woodley, I mean, when you get down to it, I mean, ruthless Robbie Lawler. I mean, he beat Robbie Lawler for the welterweight title, and Robbie Lawler was one of the great fighters of his time. I mean, he's been in a lot of wars and all that, and he got in a boxing thing with Tyron Woodley. I mean, Tyron Woodley knocked him out, and when you get down to it, Jake Paul is fucking scared of coming into a UFC octagon because he remembers last time that happened. James Toney, right? This was years back. He was claiming, oh, I can knock out any UFC fighter. I mean, real arrogant. I mean, never did MMA in his entire life. And when you get down to it, one of the all-time great legends and Randy Couture answered that challenge and absolutely destroyed James Toney, like on the ground, standing up and all that. I mean, Jake Paul, I mean, yeah, you may survive in a boxing ring, but you never survive in an MMA cage. It's friggin' excuse my language here. I was about to cuss.
Messing with Floyd Mayweather is because Conor McGregor was like, yeah, I'm not throwing my dignity away for you.
Right.
I say Conor's too worried about he's focused on Dustin Poirier next month.
Got a third fight.
Imagine if Logan shows up on SmackDown and challenges Kevin Owens.
And Sami Zayn dancing.
God.
Dances.
No, not Sami Zayn dancing
Nah,
again.
fuck out of here.
God.
I'm just saying, guys, I'm literally looking at a page of the SmackDown roster. They got allegedly 5 tag teams, as you alluded to, 8 women and 12 men. That's it.
So let's see, 12 plus 8, 12 plus 7, 19. Because I said 7. 19 plus 5.
Math is hurting King's brain. There's not even Steiner math.
Wow.
Also, Casey, you're gonna get mad about this. Just about 12 to 13 hours before the big roster cuts at the hands of Nick Khan. You want to know what WWE wants to do now?
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, Casey. So about 12 to 13 hours before the cuts were announced, WWE reportedly by Front Office Sports said something about what WWE is now planning to do with its intellectual properties.
Oh, wow.
They want to change. They want to no longer be a wrestling company exclusively. They want to be a full-scale media universe, basically the next Marvel.
I literally said this last time, Casey.
What?
And I said what they could not be and try to stop being. I literally said this last time on the ATW View.
They want to go ahead and guess who they want to rely on to be that expanded universe of characters. You want to know who you want to rely on?
Who is it?
Roman Reigns. That's to be expected. But Casey, you might hate who the other guy is. You want to know who it is?
Yeah, please do.
So
what?
Retired and will still be used by Vince.
What?
Contract.
They are gonna fucking kill that guy and the Undertaker. I mean, the Undertaker, if I was him, I mean, if he was smart enough, you could tell him, please leave me alone. I'm fucking retired. Don't even ask me to get in the fucking ring because I'm not. And you know what, though? I mean, when you get down to
Did he
it,
sell his soul to Scooby Doo?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
he did.
Yeah, he was in a
I
Scooby
remember
Doo
that.
animated movie as a monster.
yeah,
truck.
he was. He was. And they were all racing cars. And all that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, for the
And they,
desert. I remember that. I remember that movie.
But Casey,
Yeah.
imagine, and I know Noah touched it on the intro to this episode. What if WWE sells their rights to Disney and they're on Disney Plus?
Oh, Jesus. That would be the fucking death
Oh
of
no,
that
no, no,
company.
no, no! I got something worse. I told Noah and I told King, and they were saying this was mutually, and I agree, and they agreed that it was mutually assured destruction. You want to know what it is?
Here we go.
What is it?
Here we go.
We have Jillian Hall sing "Let It Go."
What is this?
Jesus
You
Christ.
broke Casey. You broke Casey for nearly 5 seconds. Casey's
Oh my
like, oh,
God.
what the?
He has the sound out
We
of
gotta hear that fucking voice. We gotta hear that voice just singing and let it go. I mean, they might as well. They might as well turn the ramp into fucking ice and allow
God.
Jillian Hall
Boy.
to be on
And
stage
King
singing
thought
"Let
his
It
idea
Go."
was worse. And King thought his idea was initially bad, which was seeing Mickey Mouse versus John Cena. At least John Cena will beat up the mouse.
No, John Cena would save the mouse because Miz would try and beat up the mouse. That was my idea because
Oh,
Miz is the bigger star.
God. Yep. And
Yeah,
then
we've lost our damn minds. The next thing we're gonna say is Paul Rez is gonna come back as a Muppet.
Yep. I'm a Muppet of a man. I'm a Muppet of a man. I am a Muppet. Or am I a man?
Okay.
Casey, here's the thing.
What?
Aleister Black also said that WWE was going to have him fight Big E this week on SmackDown. Then they stopped. And they even Aleister Black. And here's the thing about Aleister Black. You want to know the nightmares result? They were going to
What?
let him do whatever he wants. They were going to, the Dark Father character was Aleister Black's idea.
Wow.
So
That's-
Aleister Black basically
Bray Wyatt treatment.
was the second person to have his own creativity be the driving force of him and WWE. That Vince is like, nah.
He was even helping compose a new theme song, and he said it was the best he ever heard, and they'll never see it. So I say release the hashtag, release the Tommy N cut.
Exactly right. I say release the unheard theme song of Aleister Black, Tommy N, on YouTube, and let us hear what his entrance theme sounds like.
Yeah. So
And
everything's just lost in WWE. Like Nick Khan has gained more power. He's now part of the board of directors.
So now
That
he's,
place-
he's like the second or third most powerful person in the company.
that place is going to shit before our very eyes. I'm not gonna lie. That place is going straight to hell. I mean, AEW has gathered, had became the new kings of professional wrestling when
That's
you
a
get
bold
down to it.
statement. That's a bold
That's a
statement.
bold
Because
statement.
Tony Khan gives a shit, and he gives a shit about fans that watch his product, because Tony Khan knows the fans are the verdict, because he knows that he needs to put out on the best product out there so he doesn't lose viewership, because when you get down to it, Tony Khan wants to maintain that viewership to AEW, because That's why they're doing things a lot differently, and he's a very smart businessman.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that Tony Khan did do. Remember that commentator that mocked Hikaru Shida's English attempt?
Yeah.
Well, guess what he did? Guess what? After the firing of that commentator, and King, I'll let you talk. Tony Khan revealed something during his press release. He said,
what do you do?
I went to Hikaru Shida and apologized for that commentator's behavior.
Classy guy.
Directly.
Class.
Okay, King. What's the thing you're hyped up about?
I had to go on Twitter for a little bit because some of the people I follow love to give teases, and they love to reply to those teases. And basically, they love to just tease us just because they love to tease us and because they know how they do.
That's the internet.
That's true. That is true. Trolls.
Dr. Britt Baker, our new AEW Women's World Champion, Miss DMD herself, has posted a photo on her Twitter account, and it had herself as the AEW Women's World Champion on the right. And then you had Deonna Purrazzo on the left as the Knockouts champion.
I'm just want the match. Book the damn match. Rosemary versus Deonna Purrazzo is having out against all odds for the Knockouts title. Damn it, people watching Impact Wrestling. You would feel so much better. And literally, on that match, we got Slammiversary. She wants new competition. She wants fresh blood. You want to really bridge this idea of AEW and Impact Wrestling together. It don't have to be town for town. Not everything has to be belt collector related, but do it as a showcase. Britt Baker versus Deonna Purrazzo. Just book it.
Exactly. That would draw.
Yeah, exactly. That would draw. But also, Tommy End has replied to a tweet, or quoted a tweet from a tweet that's saying, Tommy, Butcher, Blade, Brody King. Tommy End requote that tweet, said, don't worry, the table will be served.
Oh, that'd be an interesting setup right there. Butcher.
Interesting.
Also, Casey, also, guys, here's the thing. Here's a scenario the AEW needs to capitalize on.
What's that?
Tommy End said this on the Twitch. He would love to fight Andrade again.
There you go.
Again,
Here's an idea.
Damn.
Here's an idea. Just to have this emotional moment. Andrade takes on Tommy End. They wrestle it out. They do a 30-minute classic on a big show with a crowd. And then Thea comes out and they all hug out like their own curtain call moment.
There you go. Cool, full circle. Because it was
very interesting.
It was Andrade that lost the NXT Championship to Aleister Black in a phenomenal match at TakeOver.
Yes,
also,
indeed.
Casey,
I remember that.
Casey,
go ahead.
Okay, Casey, what did you think of Sting's performance on Double or Nothing?
What I thought about Sting's performance is I was so damn impressed because the guy could still go for his age at 62 years old. I mean, Sting is in great shape for 62 years old to be doing that stuff.
Yes.
I mean, most guys would be retired by now. I mean, not even giving a shit or entertaining the idea. But Sting, that amazes me how much passion he still has for this business. I mean, it tells you he truly loves this business. I mean, he put on a phenomenal performance out there, Double or Nothing, and I was very impressed.
Okay, so AEW reportedly gave backstage behind the scenes. AEW had a backstage pop for when Sting did his dive.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, guess who didn't like Sting's performance?
Who?
The Tribalists.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I'm not surprised.
Okay, Casey, what I'm about to tell you, Okay, imagine this is dynamite, and this is getting, and I'm gonna give you the fuse to light it because of what you're about to say when I'm about to say something to you. Guess what they
Yeah.
try to compare Sting to?
Who was that?
Okay, they did this. Oh, you all praise Sting because even though Goldberg still wrestles.
What? Sting is a lot better in fucking two moves. Oldberg. I mean, all Oldberg did was spear and jackhammer. Spear, jackhammer. I mean, Goldberg.
Yeah, people were saying that oh, you like Sting, but what about Goldberg? Because Goldberg still wrestles for our entertainment, except I would like to say Goldberg was not really much of a wrestler. He was a brawler, and even then he gassed out after 2 minutes nowadays.
Exactly. I mean, Goldberg cannot even wrestle long matches. I mean, he doesn't have the heart and the passion for wrestling. I mean, the guy could give two shits. I mean,
the guys, you think about this. He's signed to a multi-million-dollar contract until 2022, and he only is told wrestle 2 times a year. Sting so far has fought 2 times a year and is already has taken more bumps than him.
At 60 plus years of age, I might add. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
And okay. Let's see.
And while you're looking for one more thing, as we're about to wrap this up, because we're hitting the 2-hour mark, and who wants to do a 3-hour podcast? Tommy Ann did tease one other thing. It looks like here a few hours ago. There's a picture with him and Will Ospreay.
Yeah, Will Ospreay joined in.
Interesting.
Oh,
imagine Tommy Ann in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I'm like, he could go to all
He'd
three.
kill it over there.
New Japan and AEW with the partnerships.
I can see Tommy Ann and Suzuki good if I'm honest with you.
Also, indeed.
I was just checking out the AEW rankings, and Adam Page is now number 2.
And look who's number 1 for the women. Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa.
Again, the last match, it did not count for the win-loss record, so technically it's Britt 1, Thunder 0.
Yeah. Let's see where I can find it. Okay. So okay.
We're gonna have some great
CM
news.
Punk made,
We're just doing the breeze.
You know what CM Punk said?
Wait. That's right. Getting Casey caught up.
Casey, or Punk said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Man, what was the other one? Okay. I'm trying to find it.
The power of Twitter.
It's funny. It's weird a little bit, but it's kind of crazy a little bit. But also, Braun Strowman, yeah, no one in WWE was surprised he got fired.
Huh?
Yeah, they knew they thought he was leaving. Yeah, apparently. And this is Fightful Select that said this, I think.
Interesting.
They said that the surprise was not shared by the WWE talent, though, according to Fightful Select.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, again, the talent cares about each other. Be a whole different story. So, I mean, we saw how Liv reacted with Ruby Riott, at least. So.
Yeah. And everything's just gone insane in WWE. Like, and then we talked about Reginald defeating Shayna Baszler. And
that was like the neck Chiba Big G spot. Like, we'll close. We'll be gone for 2 hours. So, Casey, I just want you to sum this up, if you can, in one sentence. Here's your challenge. Shayna Baszler, what should she do in WWE?
I have no fucking clue whatsoever, because Shayna has been buried beyond recognition when they had Shayna lose to Reginald. I mean, Reginald, I never even heard of the damn dude. I mean, as a wrestler. When you
he
get
looks
down
like
to it,
someone out of a Bob Marley music video.
Yeah, he does. He exactly does. He does. When you get down to it, I seen Shayna many years ago in Shayna's prime fight for Strike Force MMA. Strike Force is now defunct when you get down to it. And Shayna fought female professional MMA fighters that were a lot tougher than Shayna. I mean, Shayna even got knocked out by some of them. And when you get down to it, that is unrealistic whatsoever. That they had a Bob Marley wannabe and Reginald beat Shayna when you get down to it. And what should have happened was, I mean, the right way to go about it, I mean, if Shayna was booked right, have Shayna lose to another wrestler that also did MMA, and that would make better sense. I mean, it doesn't make any sense that Shayna lost to Reginald whatsoever, because I'll tell you why. The management don't like Shayna, number one, and Shayna is already a bust on Raw. I mean, Shayna may be getting up there in age. I mean, because Shayna will be 41 in August. And when you get down to it, I mean, Shayna ain't going to be doing this forever. I mean, ain't going to be wrestling forever.
No.
Because Shayna is going to be a coach down the line. I mean, Shayna will be an MMA coach. I mean, might go into MMA wrestling coach. I mean, might run a wrestling MMA school, just like
I just remembered something.
Dan Henderson,
Aleister
Randy
Black.
Couture do.
I just remembered something. Aleister Black said that he wants to open a school at some point.
Good for him.
And
I
look at
think he would
look at
do.
what Dustin Rhodes, one of my all-time favorites, is doing. Go check out the Rhodes Wrestling Academy, folks. The students are and one of the students I actually know is becoming a wrestler, by the way, part of Ali's Discord community. So, that's to do on Monster. Don't touch me. Anyway, Dustin, all the best for following that passion. But with that being said, guys, we shot shit. We started off talking and ranting and being pissed. And we started in a high note with fun fantasy book and, of course, our appreciation for other wrestling, such as this. But again, we have to wait for Friday night to see what's next for AEW.
Oh,
But
no.
we have one last one.
Casey, did you hear about the Raw viewership?
Yeah. Oh, yes, I did. I mean, got the lowest viewership in history. Oh, what a glorious sight. That was awesome. Glorious. I mean, it's so awesome seeing a viewership sink to new lows. And Noah, I gotta ask you this.
What up?
What is your reaction to Eva Marie when she posted herself of holding a Raw Women's Championship?
Not the Raw Women's Championship, the original Women's Championship.
The original championship.
Lita, Sable, China.
Well, to be fair, during that era, they were still technically called Divas, but at least that title was called the Women's Championship. And as far as Marie goes, I think she is giving herself way too much praise in her own capabilities. I find it ridiculous.
And you know what, though? Here's one thing I got to say. Eva Marie thinks she's a legend in her own mind. She cannot come close to them Hall of Famers and Lita, Trish Stratus, Jazz. I mean, Eva Marie could not lace up their boots, and she certainly could not lace up this current era's boots, because when you get down to it, and guys, I thought of something worse. They better not have Eva Marie versus Shayna and humiliate Shayna, God forbid, by having Shayna lose to Eva Marie, because I think that would be the camel. I think that would be the straw that broke the camel's back if that happens.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But again, only time will tell. With that being said, guys, we've literally about hit the 2-hour mark, and this has been more chaotic than an episode of NXT. So unless anybody has something else up their sleeve.
Nope.
I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I mean, really, anything I would come up with is repeated groundings and Casey would be the only one that didn't know about him, I think.
Right, and of course,
Right.
as I always like to do, I try and stay out of the Multiverse beyond talking about live wrestling. But you know what I am about to go into? I'm about to go into All Elite Madness since I'm beta
Oh
testing.
yeah, how is that going?
Yeah, damn right.
It's pretty fun actually. I
Pretty fun
really
game.
enjoy it. And King, you and I definitely need to connect and see if we can actually face each other in this,
You
either
guys
now
should
or
also
later.
play
We gotta
Journey
see who
of
books the better
Wrestling.
show,
It's only
man.
$15 for the full package.
Well, again, she wants this beta tested as early as possible, and we got till June 4th. So I'll probably mess with this maybe 1 hour, 2 hours,
Yep.
3 hours.
Hey,
It all depends on what I choose to do here. So
I'll tell you what, who Noah would play as a female talent. He'll play as
Allie.
Allie. He plays
Allie.
Yay
I
Allie.
bet you he's got
Hey.
Allie on book on all shows, even though it currently says you cannot
hey,
overbook.
hey. One of the strengths of AEW is they do not overwork their roster every week, and they don't retcon matches. I would not do that.
I mean,
Okay,
dare
good.
And he's
They're
got
play-
Allie
they're play-
booked
they're
as
reportedly
AEW
planning-
Women's World Champ.
They're reportedly planning to do a major roster expansion throughout this summer.
Yeah, again,
Oh,
as
wow.
Tony Khan alluded to in the Fightful Scrum, big surprises ahead for AEW. Besides the fact we got another show coming in August called
I'm
Rampage.
still thinking, since he's been entertaining the idea, it's becoming more probable that
AEW.
I told you. I've been trying to tell you. I think Tony Khan has CM Punk on the back of his hand. He's just waiting for the right timing.
And you really think that's going to happen at Chicago's All Out?
It's now or
I
never.
hope so.
It's now or never because we're slowly getting full crowds back and we're slowly returning back to normal. So if it's now or never, if he has Punk on the back of his pocket and I hear Cult of Personality in the Now Center, formerly known as the Sears Center in Chicago, where they stall it all in, which I go back and watch that paper. Oh my God, it was a darn good show.
They need to get the rights to that name again.
I agree. But you skip past the man redacted and his druids, just saying. But I get what you're saying.
But if we hear that, Chicago's going to explode.
Well,
The
here's
whole
thing.
internet
You
is
gotta
going to
remember,
explode.
MJF could do it. MJF could piss them off.
Oh, that's going to give him extremely heel heat that it cannot be tolerated. He'll be the most hated man in Chicago in his history.
Oh, indeed he will. Indeed he will.
He'll be more
Cult
hated
of
than Blues Brothers 2000.
Personality. And King, what would your reaction to be to this graphic right
I just
here?
signed Chuck Taylor. God,
Oh
Chuck
my
has the
God.
pickle what they want.
If I see that on All Elite Wrestling's Twitter page that says CM Punk All Elite, I'm going to be basically, how should I put this? Blasting CM Punk's old theme. I'm going to be blasting CM Punk's Cult of Personality. I'm probably going to get WWE. No. I'm probably going to play WWE 2K20 or 19 and download CM Punk, and I'm booking him in future matches.
Wait, wasn't 20 the shit game?
Yeah,
I'm about to
19.
say, don't
My
play
bad.
that.
Sorry.
19.
but for the PS5. But
oh God, no, I'm
for the
sorry. I know you're
PS5.
kind of in this, but I just remembered the cuts. How are the games gonna handle this?
I don't know.
Oh,
2K21. How are they gonna be like? We just did recordings with them. Why are you firing them already?
Oh boy.
They're gonna have
we did talk about that.
Maybe downloadable content. I don't know.
That would be an insult, especially since they were in the Future Stars packs years past.
Well,
Now
I
they're
mean,
like, nope, they're nothing anymore.
well now. I mean, it's time for them to do like we have the beta for all the developers. Now it's time to make some changes. It's probably going to be a longer wait from probably the original date.
They probably have to. I'm like, they fired Strowman, they fired Aleister Black. I'm like, how much money do you think they wasted with the animation on them since Leo Rush was with them?
Their moveset will probably still be there, but just not themselves.
No. You know what? I just thought about this. When AEW game comes out for Xbox, I'm getting it for Xbox. I mean, the hell with this
PlayStation.
upcoming
At least,
WWE 2K game.
at least with AEW, they're going to do what what GTA 5 is doing. Updates. They're not going to make it annually. They're going to make updates throughout whatever update they decide to do. They're going to give us new wrestlers, new arenas through updates. They're not going to make it an annual game like WWE 2K be doing.
Agreed.
That's what I like.
Yeah, and
That's what I've
again,
been
the
saying. Like,
ATW
WWE should just do a console generation game.
exactly. But again, with ATW, they're gonna have like an agenda. I am super curious what this Ukes-driven console game is gonna be for.
Well,
Hey,
they said it's going to take inspiration from No Mercy, and we all know how amazing that game is.
Oh,
Throwback, classic. All right.
Okay,
Well-
now we can end it.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
think that concludes this week's
Thank God.
ATW View impromptu open mic night. We talked shit, we talked hype, we talked excited, and we talked through, well, over here on the East Coast most of the night. So until next time, folks, follow us, chat with us, challenge our thoughts, and stay tuned for the next time the ATW View comes back with you with all things wrestling. Maybe next week with NXT TakeOver, maybe the following week with Hell in a Cell Revisited, because again, we have retcon matches. Surprise, surprise, right? With that being said,
Indeed.
who knows? Maybe there'll be another round of releases that will cause us to be triggered initially, but then maybe later on we'll be a little bit. As far as Reginald Bob Marley, go straight up Nia Jackson's hole. You can never be Shayna Baszler on the worst day. With that being said, I am the Civilman Noah Foster. He's the Inquirer Eric Brown, Preacher Casey Flynn, Ollie King Anthony. And until the next video, we bid you all a fine adieu. Thanks for tuning in to this ridiculously long open mic night ATW View. Goodbye and good night. Bang.